Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have a story for you guys coming from one of my subscribers, and I really want to share it. There's a white police officer kind of explaining to black people why white people are killing, or white police officers are hunting and slaughtering black men. Again, we see that this is a extreme problem, and it's not really being addressed. It's not, and that's because there's reasons why white supremacists are coming out and attacking right now. We see people like Richard Spencer and Steve King talking about the decline in the white community's birth rate, and we had the Black president, and things like this threaten them, and it makes them very nervous because they know the brutality that they inflicted upon the black race. They know all the stuff that they did. They know how evil it was, how violent and depraved. They know their own psyches and their own minds. And so they're very afraid that if they become the minorities, that we're going to do the exact same to them as they did to us. And because justifiably so, that probably is something that should be done to them, but I don't think that we have the depraved mindset enough to do that. But it doesn't matter in their mind. This is definitely something that is inevitable. They really believe that, as soon as they are knocked down off of their thrones and their power is taken away, that they're going to be on plantations, and they're going to be put into concentration camps. And if it was up to me, they would be not on plantations, but definitely in the concentration camps, because I think that them being on Earth right now, I think there's such a huge imbalance in energies, because we have different energies. We have different spiritual energies that are put off in the world than they do. And when they decided they wanted to commit genocide against, the black race and kill out millions upon millions of us, that knocked the entire world off its shift, in my opinion. I think that it really, just destroyed the balance. And so I think getting rid of at least 99% of them would be necessary. And I think that is something that I would definitely be for. I would not be against that whatsoever, but they do. That's their fear. Their fear is that we're going to do the same to them. But no one's interested in torturing them and raping them and cutting off their private parts and setting them on fire and dragging them by trees and enjoying cutting babies out of their bodies. I don't think that we have the evil, sadistic mindset that it would take in order to do that. But being as it may, they still have that fear, and with fear comes action for the most part. I feel like with black people, for some reason, something that they did, that these white supremacist devils did to the black mind, that is allowing our what is it? It's their flight or fight. It's just not working right for some reason, but it will. And I know that black people will wake up and we will start fighting against them, and as we should. But they know that day is coming too. And so right now they're just like, let's kill as many of them off as we can, and that's only going to get worse. I don't understand this whole racism doesn't exist anymore thing. That's insane. Like we again, you have to have your head stuck so far in the sand in order to believe something like that. Also, I forgot my train of thought there. But when they made the Constitution, we were not part of that. That had nothing to do with us. And I don't understand, like, we want to believe that all, you know, these laws and these rights and stuff are for us too, and they're not. And it's not even in the Constitution that we are people, and that we are citizens of the United States. So none of that has changed. I don't know why Black people seem to think that it has. And so anyways, I'm gonna try to find this video for you. And he talks about some biblical stuff. Again, we all know I don't subscribe to Christianity or any other organized religion. I believe that it's all it's not that I don't believe that some of the stuff that is said and that is written is true. I just think it's all manipulated in a way to benefit white supremacy and brutality against Black people. And I think it was meticulously written and shoved down Black people's throats to keep us submissive and just to keep us as slaves. And that's what it was intended for, and that's what it's doing. But let's hear what this guy say. I hope that you guys can see this screen, because I'm going to make sure the volume is up first, because you can't really see it very well, but I will leave the link in the description box, so anyone that wants to go watch it after, and maybe you'll get a better look at the guy.
Hey friends, and well, let me be honest, probably before this video is over, some of you will consider me as an enemy. But I wanted to share a couple minutes about my thoughts, not only on the tragedies that we have been experiencing over these past months, and especially these last couple of days with the shootings of our Black men, but what I'm coming to learn over my 23-year journey of being a white man, living and ministering amongst my Black family here in several inner cities of Chicago. And I'm going to speak very black and white because, let's be honest, it's a black and white issue. I want to take you to the book of Exodus, chapter 1, and I wanted to share a little bit of what took place prior to the rise of Moses. When I read that, it talked about that the Pharaoh became concerned and very fearful that the Hebrew slaves were growing in number and in power. So in order to maintain their oppression, he put upon them great labor. He put upon the Hebrew slaves cruelty to keep them down. However, they still grew. And so he brought together some midwives, and he instructed them that when a Hebrew boy was born, kill him. Well, these midwives did not follow, and the Hebrew slaves continued to grow. Eventually, the Pharaoh became so hatred and towards those Hebrew slaves that he made a
So I don't subscribe to the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, but I do believe what he's talking about them doing their best to execute Black men. And I want you guys to think about the fact that the American prison system is full of Black men. The majority of the people that are in these prison systems, these slavery camps, are Black men. So if they can keep them out of families, if they can keep them from being free, then they think this is how they will stay on top. And it is. So far it has been. If they can continue to keep the black man's mind, and if they can keep his body locked up, then they can continue to terrorize the black community. So while we're talking about the execution of black men, there have been, last year, I think there was about 250 killings of black people by these white supremacist rogue terrorist cops. And so far in 2017, we've already passed that number. We're up at like 263 or something. So by no means has any of it slowed down. Are they showing it less on the media? Yes, they're not putting it on the media as much as they were last year. And you have to realize the manipulation. Last year, the Democratic Party wanted to be, Hillary Clinton wanted to be president. So of course they're going to sit there and give you more information about some of the killings of black people so that you'll be more likely to vote for the Democratic Party. We see that didn't work, and thank God. I applaud every black person that held their vote for this 2017 election. This is where we need to be. Even though we have a disgusting, evil demon running the country, we're going to have that anyway. So I'm going to let him continue to talk, but realize what is going on. Realize where all our black men are, and that they are still in chains, and that they're still in slavery, and then they're being hunted down and shot on the street like an animal.
He put out an order that male baby boy Hebrew slaves were to be killed by casting them into the Nile River. Let's look at America. We brought blacks into this country as slaves. We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched, but yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to continue.
Okay, so right when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, part of that was a clause to criminalize black people, to make sure that they would go from the plantation into the prison system. Okay, so while they're sitting there teaching your children that this person wanted them to be free and thought that they were equal, these are lies, okay? They funneled these people from the plantations right into the prison gangs. So they were on, that's when they started building railroads and roads and all this, and finished building America. Because by no means were they going to allow these black people to be free. We were never meant to be free in America, and that's what we need to realize. But it doesn't even stop in America. This is global terrorism. So you have to realize that these people that were in Europe got to travel the globe and spread their terrorist ways all over. So you weren't meant to be free. They know they intended for you to be free, and that is why we are not free. And yet we still somehow tell ourselves that we have freedom, tell ourselves that we're equal. We tell ourselves, oh, that cop didn't shoot that man because he was black. We allow them to sit there and say, oh, look at that nigger. Oh, why do you think I'm saying something about her race? I'm not being racist. Yes, I called, President Obama a monkey and a nigger, but I'm not being racist. Oh, why are you race baiting? It's a delusional mindset. It's very delusional and very destructive and very evil. Okay? And it's how we wake up and realize that on a global basis. We need to, every Black and brown person need to wake up and realize this is fight or flight. And there is nowhere to run to.
Pain them, to destroy them, but yet they rose and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree, kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution, that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our Black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow Black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our Black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my Black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a Black president. And we've done everything in our power to keep him from really changing things. Now we have another minority rising to the top, a white female. What does that say? Those of us who are white men who have been at the head are now starting to see and fear that we are going to become the tail. And we know what we've done to you. And so now we're fearful that you're going to do to us what we have done to you. But I will say this. I've lived in a Black community for 23 years. I've never been treated the way that this country has treated my Black Americans. So I call out my white Americans to say we better heed, repent, acknowledge, and change. Because if we don't, I just want to again say this. The bloodshed that we will experience is on our hands, not the hands of our fellow Black Americans. I welcome your comments. I welcome your feedback. Hit me up on Facebook or go to my webpage at www.
So, anyways, I'm sure I put this. Okay, so by no means think that this evil Albanoid is on your side, okay? Because you know how they like to get attention. So I'm pretty sure he just decided to do a video so that he can get some attention. If not, then, congrats to him. But there's a lot of truth in what he said. And first, I want to talk about all these Hebrew Israelites that are out there, because I constantly get messages, and it's stupid because I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I don't want to be. I have no desire to be. I'm not going to look into it. I don't believe in any of these biblical sayings, okay? But what I do believe, that God, whoever he, she, or is, would want you to fight for your life. Like, why would any God, whether it's Jesus or whoever you choose to believe in, Allah or whatever, you should be fighting for your life. That's the bottom line. So when people want to throw in their little scriptures, whatever, here's my point on that. You should be fighting for your life, bottom line, regardless of whatever religion you choose to believe in. I'm pretty sure none of them says lay down and let white supremacists kill you. I'm pretty sure none of it says that. And if it does, then that's the wrong God. Okay? And then you need to really rethink what God you believe in, because no God would give you life and then tell you to just lay down and let white supremacists kill you. So realize that if these white supremacist terrorists are starting to fear that they're becoming the minority, which they have repeatedly said that we are dying off, diversity is killing us, on a global sense, that their birth rate is down. It came out of their mouth. Richard Spencer has said it, Steve King has said it, many other white supremacists, white nationalists, either way, white terrorists have said that they're dying off. So this dude is telling you, we're fearing that. So we're going to start killing you more. There's going to be he's telling you there's a shift that's going on. We are aware of this as the white community, and we are going to start killing you guys even more. In fact, that I think it was Steve King that said that the right wing or whatever said that they need to kill off 11 billion black and brown people. So if you think, well, I'm in America, I'm going to be safe as long as it's not coming to my house or to my family. It's at your house. It's at your family. You need to start standing up and getting yourself ready for that. And the first step of getting yourself ready is getting your mind right. Okay? So what you want to do is put that Bible aside, because clearly all of these people that feel like they need to just pray for these people, you're not reading the Bible right. Because I've read the Bible a lot of times, and it definitely does not say pray for people while they're killing you. And on the parts that says pray for your enemies, you can kill your enemies and pray for them at the exact same time. You really can. So there's really no excuse. There's no excuse to continue to make excuses for them, to continue to deny their racist terrorism, to continue to believe anything that comes out of their mouths. There's no reason to do that. Look at what they've been doing. Look at what they're doing. That's what you need to listen to, not what words are coming out of their mouth, because they're constantly lying. They're constantly just saying things that aren't even real. They just say random shit, and we just take it at face value, and it's nothing. Look at what they're doing. Look at who's our president. He got elected on his hate speeches, on his want and desire to rid the world of black and brown people. He won his presidency on the fear of white people, of them dying out. Okay, that's what it was on. It was on, we're dying out. We need to kill and lock up more black people, and that's what all these other disgusting white supremacist terrorists agreed to. And you need to realize, when you want to think in your head that, oh, they're not all the same, you have Trump as a president for a reason. And that's because the majority of them wanted him to be president. because he wanted you dead. And that's it. That's why he's there. He is on top destroying this country because he wanted you dead. And they want you dead more than they want this country to thrive. So make no mistake about that. This country can go. They will watch this country burn down to the ground before they allow Black people to rise. So stop waiting for them to allow you to rise, okay? And rise in spite of them. And get rid of these white supremacist terrorists. We don't need them here. Okay? The planet does not need them here. Are we going to wait until they kill our planet? We're just like, oh, we'll just sit here and pray while you kill us, destroy the entire planet. They're telling you these killings of Black people are planned. They're not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's not that we just randomly run into these Black people. They're targeted. We are hunting them, and we're doing what we can to destroy you. That's what they're telling us. And we need to start listening and taking heed. Okay? Our very existence depends on it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this. Let me know what you guys think about his video and what he had to say. And yeah, go ahead and leave comments, like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you guys can share this video as much as possible on Facebook and Twitter and Blaqspot, and I am on Blaqspot, just so you guys know. I know I get messages asking me if I'm on there. Yes, I am on there. I don't go on these social media sites a lot. I don't. And so if you leave me messages on there, I don't really get them because I'm just not on there that much. I will try to be on there more, but honestly, like I tell you guys, I get really, really stressed out. And so it's reading negative stuff or things that give off negative energy, watching videos that give off negative energy really does a lot to me, and it takes a lot out of me, and so it's really hard for me to do that. I'm thinking of making another YouTube channel so that I can explain to you guys a little bit more of the issues that I go through with emotionally and physically and stuff like that, because I don't really like to do it on these videos, but I probably we'll do a channel talking more in depth about these things. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for supporting me and donating on my Patreon account. I will put the link to that in the description box. And I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. The most that you can do for me and for, you know, the rest of the Black community is share these videos. Let's make them go viral, because I see a lot of Black people fighting each other. Those go viral, or Black people doing stupid stuff, and we allow those to go viral. We look at those, we like those, we share those. We should not be doing that. That is self-destructing, and we should not do it. These are the videos we need to share, the ones where we're talking about white supremacist terrorism, and we're addressing the problems that are in our community. And those are the things that we need to share. No, they're not fun to watch. They're not. But they're informational. And I don't do this for fun. I do this so that my son doesn't have to continue to live in a world of white supremacist terrorism. I don't want that to be his existence and his life. And so I want to do stuff now so that our next generation aren't sitting in the same spot, because they're going to be more terrorized than we are if we don't stand up and do something about this. It's only going to get worse. Like, again, look at our president. It's not getting better. Anyways, thank you guys, and yeah, that's it.